Take one. Here we are, guys. Hello there. Hi, Christian. How are you?
Yes, very good, Saeid. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I thought maybe today we can go and talk about, well, I didn't think of it. We sort of thought of it collectively. Talk about Dubai map, different parts of Dubai.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea for a lot of our investors that are new to Dubai. It's pretty imperative, isn't it? Really.
Everybody obviously have access to Dubai map, but I thought we can also use this one at some point and share this. This is for one of the developers called Samana. I do kind of like this schematic way of presenting it, so you can see different places in Dubai. And maybe actually it's not a bad way to start from here, just because I'm sure there are many better maps there. If anybody can think of one, please let us know. I'm going to test your knowledge a little bit. I know we recently went there together. Anything stands out when you see this? First of all, can I say this is where we landed? So majority of the people, when you guys land, when you arrive in Dubai, this is the part that you land. Obviously, there is another airport. So this is the whole Al Maktoum sort of airport that they talk about that has been open. The first time, funny enough, fun fact, the first time that I came to the UK, I went there because I was very excited. This is back in June 2014. I shouldn't act. I never forget that time, the first time I made it to the UK. I went there 12 hours, 11 hours early. So that was good. And then realized, oh, my flight doesn't go from there. It was actually a Qatar airline, one-way ticket. So I had to call my sister, come pick me up, drove back all the way there. Never been to that area before and went to that airport. So that was the first time, the only time that I've been to, I think they used to call it Dubai World Central. That was the name of the area. I don't know if they still call this. I think they're a part of it that is still called that, but it's Al Maktoum Airport. So do you remember this part, landing here?
I certainly do. I'm just, as you're going through it there's certain locations on the map that I'm recalling from our last visit to Dubai. So some of the filming that we did took place just slightly right of your cursor now by the river. If you remember when we went for that unfortunate filming session that we had booked and he wasn't prepared for us, but that was just around there. And of course, for a lot of people that have only ever visited Dubai, and certainly from the UK, Palm Jumeirah, of course, is the first place that they're going to look out for.
I think that's actually a great point. I was hoping you would say something like Burj Khalifa, but that's actually, I think it's more of a, especially for English people and tourists mainly, that is definitely a place because I think everybody knows about this man-made island in the shape of a palm tree. That's why it's called Palm. There are more than maybe a couple of very, again, huge landscape there. Atlantis Hotel that has been there for many years, and now there is Royal Atlantis next to it that they have built, which is probably 3 or 4 times more expensive a night on the Palm.
What would you say a night stay in the Royal Atlantis is?
Can I tell you this, that between high season, which is now, so November, December, January, February, March, these are all part of high season, and between low season, prices probably vary 4 to 5 times. Like right now, it is 4 to 5 times more expensive than, July, August. We should have stayed in Royal Atlantis in August. I do think the price is around $1,200 for like a standard room a night in Royal Atlantis. That's like £6,000. Another big place that they're talking about right now, or have been talking about for years, the next big palm is this one, which is Palm Jebel Ali. That's not the right size. The new one is probably a few times larger than Palm Jumeirah, but this is just for illustration purposes. That's what they have done it. And that's gonna be there. And a lot of things that probably in a hindsight, they would have done it differently. And Palm Jumeirah, they're gonna do it differently in Palm Jebel Ali. For example, like entrances. Do you see how the crescent, for example, is connected there and there?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's not just the trunk, as opposed to here, it's just the trunk that is connected. So the only way to be in and out of the Palm Jumeirah, you're staying in these funds. I think that's the right word for these parts. Where the villas are, beautiful villas. Whether you're on these apartments, we have Golden Mile and Shoreline. Golden Mile on this side, Shoreline on that side on Palm. Our British fan, they might know about the Five Hotel, which is jokingly, I think some people call it the British Embassy at some point because there are all these Brits, especially during COVID, partying there.
Can we go back to Palm Jebel Ali and talk about potential sort of timescales in terms of completion of developments out there and in terms of what developers are going to be developing in that area?
The master developer of all the Palm is Nakheel, which is again, I don't know how people characterize this, but governmental, semi-governmental, they're really backed by the government, partially owned by the government too. So they are the master developer, and they are also building all the villas. I do think there might be some independent plots where people can just buy the plot and build it themselves too. So that's that. In terms of completion, it's in progress. I don't know when will be the first one that will be handed over. I want to say the first villas that are going to be completed is going to be either next year, 2026 or 2027. It's massive. So that's going to be the first round of properties that are going to be handed over. The first one are going to be villas. Generally speaking, they are smaller scale projects, so they naturally just complete faster. And then there are going to be apartment buildings that are also going to be there. But huge potential. And I think a big part of it is that some of this stuff, like I said, like the entrance that happened that was wrong, they're going to learn from that, or they have already learned from that and won't do the same thing. And also water, I think there are part of it on the Palm that the water is a little bit stagnated and maybe a little bit pondy. So that's not going to happen in the Palm Jebel Ali too. But the number of hotels that they're going to build there, it's just a lot more, lots bigger, everything just much larger, and the potential for return obviously much larger. There aren't a ton of opportunities left there, to be honest, in terms of investment, just to be clear. I think if anybody might be interested in waterfront property, this is the big next place to be, which is Dubai Island, which strangely enough, Samana also, well, it's not as strange. They're the fifth largest private developer in the UAE right now, but they do, and this is not a promotion for Samana, guys.
There is some fantastic opportunities with Samana on Dubai Island, though. We're completely independent, but it is worth pointing that out.
This might be going on a tangent, but one of the good things about doing the way that we do, as opposed to be working in a developer or being a master agent, for us, this is what I always thought about, is that obviously we want to help people to create wealth through investing in property. We don't have an agenda. The agenda is that we want you as an investor to make money. We're not coming into this being biased, thinking go with this or go with that because that's more beneficial for us. You are at the left, right, center, and every part of business model that we have. So it's all about you guys and what suits you.
May I jump in again? And I'm just conscious for our UK viewers, Saeed, to point out, and me personally as well, I'm a big sports fan, and I know that there's some attractions within Dubai from a sporting nature. I just wondered if you could highlight where they were. In terms of from a sporting nature, so again, from a UK perspective, it's about, in this initial session, because perhaps we'll do another session on the map tomorrow, but just pointing out major landmarks that people will be aware of. So I'm thinking in terms of the racetrack that we actually visited. I think, was it Binghatti
That's called Meydan. I'm sorry, as soon as you asked that question, I just immediately thought of this. I'm just going to put in DXB Airport because that's something that many people, that's the first place that you arrive. Did you make it to that rugby match? Was it last night or the night before?
I was unable to, actually, just because of client commitments, but
who was playing again?
England against Fiji in the Autumn International Rugby.
In hindsight, did England win, hopefully, or not? Or
I'm going to say yes. Viewers will correct us if I'm wrong, but England were big favourites. I don't know what the result was, to be honest.
All right. So Rugby 7, the reason that I ask about that's one of the big venues there. And obviously it's for rugby. Emirates, the airline, they sponsor it. And that's 36-minute drive from the airport to that point. Do you think a lot of people know about Burj Khalifa, the tallest tower in the world?
Burj Khalifa, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's another one. So this is like 40 minutes drive from Burj Khalifa to the rugby. So that's one. You ask about Meydan.
And the area, Saeed, where Burj Khalifa is, that's called downtown, is that right?
That is correct, yeah. Downtown is it's a very high-end. If I were to choose one place to live in myself, and I wanted to be in an apartment area, I wanted to live in a flat, downtown is the place. Yeah, just Burj Khalifa being their value perspective. Obviously, every city in the world that I know of, they normally have one downtown, whether it's New York or, London, places like that. So that's always going to be one.
We did a session last week on villas and townhouses, but if anyone is looking for investing into some of your larger buildings, the likes of the Burj Khalifa, we've got the Burj Azizi coming in the next few years, Saeed, and that's going to be in downtown as well, isn't it?
Burj Azizi is one of those sort of iconic plots. It's on Sheikh Zayed Road directly. When you enter the city, if you come from here, the airport, you drive. So airport, come here, that's called Garhoud Bridge, which is going over the Crick, you arrive here, which is like the beginning of the Sheikh Zayed Road, where the Museum of Future, we couldn't make it on that trip, but that's one of the most beautiful, iconic buildings in the world, not just Dubai.
It's a stunning landmark, it really is.
I think 10 days or 8 days or however many days we were there, that's just not enough to see all the places. But yeah, this one, the Burj Azizi, is opposite Future, the Museum of Future. It's on the Sheikh Zayed Road on this side. So when we talk about downtown, this is a first interchange, and this is Sheikh Zayed Road. This is first interchange.
We just touched upon the racecourse as well, which again, people in the UK will be familiar with the Dubai. I think it's the Dubai Gold Cup that runs there on the racecourse that was just to the right of where we were there. So everything's really quite close together, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's very accurate assessment. So on this map here, on Google Map, I was trying to search for it's called Meydan Racecourse. And when you were talking about the office that we went to Binghatti office, and that was literally somewhere here overlooking the racehorse. So this is the racehorse. We were probably somewhere there.
Perhaps, and I mean, I think we're a little bit time restricted, but perhaps tomorrow we can actually put together our last couple of videos, which was the ability to buy townhouses and villas in Dubai with this map, and we can look at potentially some of the locations of those townhouses and villas on the map. I think that would be a really good idea.
I do think 15 minutes is not enough, but we kind of touched base. Maybe we can resume from this part onward and go into exactly what you said. But I do think people might be interested to know more. Have you heard of Box Park in London by any chance? Around Shoreditch area, East of London? Yeah. We were there a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you recall. So that Box Park is inspired, the Box Park in Dubai where you see it here, it's inspired by the Box Park in London, basically. So this is the Azizi Tower that he was talking about. That is literally going to be the tallest residential building in the world.
It's one of many developers that we work alongside. Azizi do have units, do have apartments at really, really affordable prices. So there's every option that you may well want as a client that we've got the answers to. As I say, we concentrated on villas and townhouses a couple of days ago, and we'll be looking at all aspects of property investing within Dubai over the coming weeks.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Another Take Fun coming to an end. See you guys later.
See you guys later. Thank you very much, Saeid. A pleasure as always, sir.